I'm Congresswoman Terri Sewell, and I proudly represent Alabama's 7th Congressional District. It includes the historic cities of Birmingham, Montgomery, and yes, my hometown of Selma, Alabama. You see, voting rights is very personal to me. So many senators, so many legislators, and the King family join us year after year to walk across that bridge to commemorate what happened there on Bloody Sunday. And to say, no more. No more. We are once again at that precipice, an inflection point, if you will. While we no longer have to count how many marbles are in a jar or recite backwards the Declaration of Independence, today's modern-day voting suppression is no less pernicious. Long lines, purging of rolls. The list goes on and on. But today, as we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy, it can't be a celebration, as Yolanda said, because we need legislation. We need the Senate to do its job. Almost 6 decades ago, John Lewis and the foot soldiers of the civil rights movement marched, fought, and yes, bled on a bridge for the equal right of all Americans to vote. Their efforts culminated in the passage of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And voting rights was never partisan until recently. The Voting Rights Bill passed 5 times for reauthorization under 4 Republican presidents. But now, we're having a problem called the filibuster. I agree with my colleagues. I agree with the King family. We cannot let a process stand in the way. A process, oh, by the way, that over 150 times have been set aside, and most recently by the raising of the debt ceiling. If we can raise the debt ceiling to protect the full faith and credit of the American government, surely we can pass the John Robert Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act to protect our democracy. I know people are tired and frustrated, and we can be tired and we can be frustrated, but what we can't do is give up. Just think what John Lewis, if he had given up those marchers marching across that bridge, if they had been bludgeoned on that bridge and didn't try to go back for turnaround Tuesday or ultimately to complete that march. They didn't give up. They didn't give out. Think of Rosa Parks on a bus. Had she not given up, what our lives would have been. It was because of her courage, because of her sacrifice, that we now have integration in interstate transportation and commerce. So I say, let us remember the words of Coretta Scott King. She was profound and prophetic when she said, "Struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You have to earn it and win it in each generation." So this is our mountain moment. Will we give up, give out, or will we keep pressing forward? We must keep pressing forward. I want to say in closing that it's never lost on me that I get to represent my home district, my hometown of Selma, Alabama. My job each and every day is not only to represent the people, the wonderful people of Alabama's 7th Congressional District today, but it's also to protect and further the legacy of Selma, of Montgomery, of Birmingham. And I will not give up, and I will not give out. It was King, Dr. Martin Luther King, who said, "If you cannot run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl." But we must keep moving forward. Let's move forward together and demand that the Senate pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Robert Lewis Advancement Act. Let's do it, and let's do it now. Thank you.